Hello and welcome to a review of ACT Reading for Owls from today, February 28th. You've already read the literary narrative passage adapted from The Public Father by Daphne Merkin. You've also already completed the Kahoot, so now it's time for me to screen share and review the correct answers and explain why some of them are correct. So here's the passage. Number one, a main theme of the passage is C, longing. The narrator often yearned for connections with her dad that are difficult to make. That's going to be based on an overall understanding that you get after reading the passage. And number two is going to be similarly based off of an overall understanding of what you've just read. The narrator's statement that she rarely visited her father at the office most strongly suggests H, the fundamental separation between her father's public life and his private life, who he is to the world versus what kind of father she wants versus what kind of father he is, this sort of private sphere of his life. It's really going to be about those two separations, those two differences. Number three is where you start to dive in and get a little bit more specific. The narrator indicates that when she tried to discuss her life's difficulties with her father, she found his focus on which of the following to be particularly frustrating. The answer there, of course, is D, finding resolution. And if we scroll back up to lines 40 through 45, here we go. So she's officially meeting with him to discuss her difficulties. She invariably finds herself cut off at the pass by his decisiveness. My habit of questioning everything wilted before his focus on the bottom line. She's more interested in talking through problems, maybe talking about emotions as well, which she referenced earlier. And he's more focused on finding a solution or a resolution to whatever might be at hand. Number four, when the narrator states, "These days I find myself looking for my father," in line 48, she is most nearly referring to the fact that she has been F, relating certain places she sees or certain people she communicates with to her father. And she does that both superficially, like how maybe dads look and act, to some more deeper associations. And if we scroll back up to line 48, here we go. There's superficial associations. I saw a movie in which the Savoy Hotel was, and he liked to stay there, versus how people think and how that reminds her of her father and his mind and how he thought. So number four again is F. Scrolling up here to number five, the narrator most clearly illustrates her father's utterly idiosyncratic, curvy mind, lines 56 to 57, by providing details about what? The answer here is C, the scribblings on his white notepads. The various languages that he used and his musings, it matches thematically with this idiosyncratic and curvy mind that she says that he has. Number six, the narrator offers which of the following details as support for her claim that she knew her father took pride in her career as a as a writer. The answer there is going to be J. Her father happily attended the literary gatherings that were part of her career. And those were, of course, where he didn't care necessarily about what she would write about him or his family. He was, unembarrassable, I think was the word that she used up above, but he was there to support her nonetheless. And that's how he sort of like displayed pride in what his daughter was doing. He was there to support her. Number seven, in the last paragraph, the narrator characterizes her father most nearly as D, a truly unique person who brought her comfort despite the often impersonal nature of their interactions. She really misses him, and she describes him quite warmly at the end, including, the yamaga things that he wears. And here she is also, of course, holding his hand shortly before he dies. That implies a certain, warmth and comfort that's going to be there, despite, maybe the often impersonal nature of their interactions, where she has to go and, schedule a time to go see him, and where he's maybe focused more on, finding resolution to refer to a previous question, than on talking through emotions and maybe making connections and having big conversations. Number eight, the narrator describes which of the following as being cobbled together from line 22. The answer here is G, her childhood image of an ideal father. And if we scroll back up here, it's worth seeing. An image cobbled together from the paternal figures I warmed to on television or the movies, attentive, playful, full of wise counsel. And then she talks about everything that he didn't do, that fathers who you might have read about or seen on TV, or maybe, been otherwise exposed to, the type of dads who she sees, they're not really the kind of dad who he is. And she maybe wants him to be like that when she's a child. And so again, number eight was G. Number nine, the narrator makes clear that compared to her interest in exploring feelings when she was a girl, her interest in exploring feelings at the time the passage was written was C. And if we go back up to lines 33 to 34, we're going to see, she characterizes it pretty much in those words as about the same. Let's see. Line 33, here we go. He hadn't much use for feelings, which were what interested me the most then as now. So if you were reading really carefully, you would have gotten that correct. 9 again is C. And finally, number 10, the narrator characterizes the talks that she and her father had in a study about her life problems as J, occasional prearranged meetings that had a serious tone. And if we come back up to lines 38 through 41, I believe, Yeah, here we go. On those infrequent times when I would officially meet with him in his study, a room that bordered on the sacrosanct, to discuss some girl with difficulty, I'd find myself cut off at the pass by his decisiveness. That really contributes to J being the correct answer right there. So let's go ahead and switch back over here. Just in case I went too fast or you missed one, here are the correct answers. Good luck on the ACT tomorrow. I'm hoping that you guys can just go in there and absolutely kill it. Hopefully, of course, you do particularly well on the reading portion, and best of luck.